So you were on a hunting show.
Yeah.
You were on, was it Sportsman's Channel or Outdoor Channel?
It was the Sportsman's Channel.
Tell us about that. How did that happen?
Well, there was a TV show called Outlanders, and the whole premise of the show was that you could apply for them to come and film your hunt, and they did about 7 or 8 episodes, I think it was, from eastern white-tailed to
Antelope.
Antelope, deer, whatever, just different types of hunts. Anyway, and so you would just go online and apply, and so I went online and applied for elk. Your older brother and I had elk tags for a unit that we hadn't hunted before. You don't get it's not like you get an elk tag every year here in Arizona, but anyway, we got elk tags. The bottom line was it came down, I got a phone call and they said, hey, yeah, it's between you and some other guys in Colorado. We just want to touch base with you, blah, blah, blah. And then we didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything. And then all of a sudden they get a phone call and said, okay, the Colorado guys are out. It's you guys. We realize the hunt's only 3 weeks away. We need to get all the camera gear shipped to your house. We need to get the guns to you. And so they had sponsors that were going to use the sponsor's rifle. It was Savage Rifles, and it was Weaver scopes, and one of the things that the producer and the director would ask us is, what sets you guys apart? And I made the comment, I said, well, it's still pretty controversial, but we consider it a tool, and that's to take long-range shots if the conditions are right, and so on and so forth. So I think that was intriguing to them. Not that we were going to look for that, but anyway, long story short, because it was such a short time, I don't know how many cases of camera equipment and stuff showed up at my house. And the field producer, him and another assistant, were flying in on Thanksgiving Day. We picked them up at the airport. They actually had Thanksgiving dinner with us, and then we were leaving that afternoon because the opening day was the next day, and we had already gone up there and set up camp, Justin and I, with a trailer in place up there, a couple of trailers, I think. I can't remember. I think we had a couple of trailers. Anyway, and we'd glassed up a pretty nice bull. We glassed up several bulls, but glassed up a pretty nice bull on Tuesday, I think it was, Monday or Tuesday, and now this, opening day was Friday. Anyway, they came. Well, they sent us 7 mags. We wanted 270s. Years prior to that was looking at an ad from Nosler, and Nosler had come out with a new bullet called AccuBond LR. And they had a 150 grain bullet for the 270. And I was reading the ad and I said, if this is true, the 270 just became a legitimate long range cartridge.
Yep.
And because the terminal velocity was down all the way to like 1,300 feet per second, which puts you out to
well past 1,000.
Well past 1,000 yards.
Right.
And so we started loading those bullets and shot a little bit of game with them. Nothing big. This was going to be the first big game hunt. But anyway, we were concerned because they didn't send us 270s. They sent us 7 mags. We had no time to work up a load. We certainly didn't have any AccuBond LR bullets. It's all I could do to go find some
any 7 mag ammo.
Any 7 mag ammo at the time, and we sighted the rifles in. I talked to the rep or the producer about scopes, and I said, does Weaver even have a long range scope. Yes, they do. And they sent those scope to us. We had to get them mounted on the rifle. Anyway, we had to do all this in like 3 weeks
Yeah.
or less. And both of us were working and so on. Well, the previous winter, and there was quite a price package for this. If you, so they would videotape these hunts. They would play them throughout the year, throughout
For
the
a
season,
season.
and people would vote. People would go online and vote, and if your video won the vote, got the most votes, it's like a $10,000 optics and all kinds of stuff package.
Right.
And so, you know, that was intriguing. And anyway, so the previous winners were a couple of brothers that happened to be in the same industry as you and your brother. They were Glendale SWAT officers, and they had filmed their Coues deer hunt and so on and so forth. So your brother knew who they were and contacted them and asked them and said, man, we're really nervous. You don't get these elk tags every year.
Right.
You know, we're
not comfortable
We're
with these
not
rifles,
comfortable with
basically.
these rifles or
Yeah.
the ammunition or anything for a long range. See, that's the other thing. You have to have the right bullet. It has to be a bullet that's designed to be able to have the terminal velocity necessary to take down the animal humanely and so on. And they said, well, you know, if you make sure one of you brings one of your own rifles that you've done that with, that you have the load, that you have all that, and push come to shove, you know, if it's not going to work out, take it with your rifle, and they'll just have to work around it, you know,
Right.
or whatever. So that's what we did, and opening morning came and glassed up this bull. We were not seeing a lot of animals. It was, I realized it was only opening morning, but we just weren't seeing what we had been seeing just a couple of days earlier.
Right.
And glassed up this really nice 6x6 bull across the canyon that clearly was a mature bull. And he was 1,025 yards. And no wind. We were glassing him through the binoculars and stuff, and we could see that there was no wind where he was. There was certainly no wind where we were. The conditions were good. And I turned to the field producer and I said, "Do you see that bull over there?" "Yeah, I can see it." And I said, "Can you film that? Can you film this?" And he said, "Well, yeah, I could probably zoom in to a certain, you know,
Right.
as much as I can and see." And he said, "How far is that?" And I said, "Well, it's 1,025 yards." And he goes, he says, "Oh, okay, you know, or whatever." Meanwhile, your brother's getting down and getting proned out on a deadfall and getting set up, and he's going to take this bull. And so the field producer's looking at him and he's looking at me, and I said, "Are you guys going to get ready?" And he goes, "What? You're going to shoot this bull?" And he says, "Yeah. You don't think he's laying down on the ground for the fun of it, do you?" or whatever. And he goes, oh, okay. So they had 2 cameras. They get all set up. They get on the bull, and I'm on my binoculars, and we're ready. And your brother takes the shot, and it was a cold bore shot, and you know, that's a long shot, no question about it. Couldn't tell where it hit, and I said, I can't call it for you.
Yeah.
But I would just hold again, where, you know. And so he got on him again and squeezed it off and was going for a high shoulder shot and hit a little bit, just barely to the right of the shoulder in the heavy part of the neck. And that bull swung his head around, and I told him where he hit him, called the shot for him. He cranked another one in, got back on him and shot, and that bull just hit the ground like a sack of rocks. 1,025 yards, literally just yanked the carpet right out from underneath it and went rolling down the hill and got caught in a tree, and it was done. 1,025 yards on video with a 270.
Yeah, and not only on video, but that went on the Sportsman's Channel.
That episode was on the Sportsman Channel 5 times. 5 times. Well, it was not with the 7 mag. And I explained to the field producer, I said, that bullet would not do that over there. I said, but let's get the video. I said, Justin, go ahead and prone out. Get on him with this 7 mag.
Sponsor rifle.
And the sponsor's rifle, and let's shoot again. And you videotape it and stuff. And I said, I'm sorry it's this way, but we just don't get these tags. And maybe my bull will be something
Closer
different,
or something,
closer, something different or whatever. We were hunting the whole season. So they did that, and the field producer kept asking me, said, so tell me about the bullet again. What are you talking about? And I tried to give him a little bit of ballistics 101. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional hunter. I'm not a ballistics expert or anything like that, but have been doing it for long enough to know some certain things. And I said, well, listen, the reason this 270 and this Nosler Accubon LR bullet was able to do what you just saw, what you just filmed, is because of the design of that bullet. The ballistic coefficient, which basically is the ability for that bullet to cut through the atmosphere and maintain its velocity longer for a longer distance, and consequently still be spinning instead of out of this 7 mag, this bullet here, probably, I said, I don't know, 600, 700 yards, somewhere in there, that bullet was running out of gas and probably started tumbling,
Right.
or whatever. And I said, in fact, it will be interesting to see what we see over there. He hit that bull with the 7 mag as it was down, or whatever. Well, it took a while to get over there, but we got over there, got down to the bull, and we were skinning the bull, and lo and behold, the shoulder that 7 mag bullet was shot at, the bullet was laying just inside the hide. It didn't even penetrate
Anything.
the shoulder.
The hide.
Anything. It penetrated the hide, and it was just under the hide.
And that was the for the video only
Right.
7 mag shot.
Yeah.
But he was able to dial and hit the bull.
Yes.
But the bull's already down and dead from this 270 shot.
He had that shoulder shot
Right.
that he put it on with the 270 and shot the bull. The bull might not have been exactly completely expired. I believe he kind of jerked or something as he did that.
That's fine. Just finish up this story.
And but we went over there and started skinning that bull, and I felt something, and I peeled the hide back, and I said, come here. And the field producer came over there, and I peeled that hide back, and there was that 7 mag bullet literally laying flat on its side on the muscle.
Yep.
And so it had started
Tumbling,
spinning
right.
and tumbling, or excuse me, not spinning, tumbling, and literally just slapped that bull.
Right.
Bull. It went through the hide. It had enough velocity
Right.
to go through the hide, but it didn't penetrate at all.
Right.
And was, whereas the Accubon LR, we found it on the opposite side of the shoulder. It went through both shoulders and lungs, was inside the hide on the other side, perfect mushroom.
Yep. It did
And that
exactly.
bullet did exactly what it was designed to do. And my premonition that this just turned the 270 into a legitimate long range rifle was confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've since used that bullet you know, we've killed a lot of stuff with it.
Another bull shot at 834 yards in a rainstorm,
Yep.
and broke both
Shoulders.
broke
Yeah.
both legs, and did the exact same thing. And then I shot a bull at 525 yards, and just, I mean, and another bull at 600 and something yards, and another bull. You shot at 580 something yards, and you know, we've just that bullet's been everything that they said it was.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
And I'm not getting paid by NOSFR or anything here. That'd be nice.
Yeah, right.
But, and the rest of the story is that kind of got us in trouble. That literally kind of got us in trouble. Literally, it was that was a Thanksgiving weekend hunt, and now it's the middle of December, and my phone rings about 8 o'clock at night. We're at a family Christmas party, and it's the field producer, and he's saying, holy cow, you know, Weaver and Savage, they're all jacked about this and this shot. They've seen the video, and I said, you were going to tell them what happened, and I'm hearing that you didn't tell them what happened. We didn't want to try to pull the wool over anybody's eyes.
Yeah.
You know, it made for a good show. They showed it 5 times on the Sportsman's Channel, and so on and so forth. And we did shoot the bull with the 7 mag. It just trying to be as legit as we could be, you know, within reason. And he said, no, I haven't told him. I said, you've got to stop this. He said, well, they want to interview you guys. They want to do a commercial. I said, no, you got to stop this. We've got to. And I said, so you better call the director. And I said, preferably like right now, you know, or whatever, and call me back. And he did. About 30 minutes later, my phone rang, and he goes, oh man, they're not happy. And I said, well, I'm so sorry, you know. It never was our intention to do that, but it's just the way it worked out.
Right.
And we told you up front that that's, you know,
That might be how it
that
goes
might
down.
have to be the way it is. And consequently, I never found a bull. We had some close calls and stuff, but they were running, and you know, I don't want to take that kind of shot. So I didn't harvest a bull that year. And you know, right or wrong, whatever. Again, that episode was played the most out of all the other episodes. Yet when it came time to voting, they did some internet shenanigans and blocked the votes. And
You weren't allowed to vote for that one.
you weren't allowed to vote for that one. And I you know, I guess that's probably
And there
appropriate.
was probably some, I'm sure, some fine or some, you know, what do they call it? The fine print writing and whatever stuff, and the contest, et cetera, et cetera.
Believe me, I wished it could have been the Savage with that scope, a Weaver scope. It was a nice setup,
Yeah.
but I felt like it was quite a bit of their fault themselves. You know, if they'd have picked us at the beginning of the summer, we could have got the rifles, got the ammunition loaded, worked up loads. We would have been totally fine. They made an LR bullet for the 7 mag,
Yep.
but you couldn't get a hold of them.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any time. And so I'm not trying to beat anybody up about it. It was one of those unfortunate things, but it sure made for an awesome episode. And I think that kind of got those guys in trouble too, because I think they didn't do that show anymore
Yeah.
after that. But anyway, so
Well,
our 30 minutes of fame, you know, edited, you know, fame.
yeah.
But
Well, I think we're well over 2 hours.
yes, yeah. But I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, and there's still more that I want to talk about, so we'll definitely have you back. We'll talk some more.
That'd be great.
But thanks for coming on, and thanks
Yeah.
for sharing your experience and
Absolutely.
your stories. Just real quick to wrap it up. So, I mean, Oregon Outdoors, that idea and kind of putting this stuff on YouTube and everything, definitely a passion of mine and something that we all like. But I have on our logo, says since 1956, because that's when you were born.
That's when I was born.
And that's when you kind of started all that as far as getting into hunting and then having us have that option of getting into it as well. And so
Yeah.
that's where that comes from. That's why I wanted to have you on for the first episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, so thanks for coming
I
on.
appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Sure love you.
All right, love you too.